Alright, 3, 2, 1, boom. This is dispatch from the patch 4 of the Energy Boom 101, and we're going to basically, well, this is really simple. I'm going to simply read you this article right here. U.S. rises to #1 energy producer, and it is from the Wall Street Journal, Thursday, October 3rd, and it is by Russell Gold and Daniel Gilbert. And this is, of course, Boom U. And if this is Energy Boom 101 and we're live here at Boom U, we want to give you a nice little pretty backdrop while you suffer through this article, because there's a pretty amazing information in it. And in the background, get this set up right, I'm going to be performing the amazing task of holding the camera phone in my right hand while I read out of the Wall Street Journal in my left hand. And I may even introduce the Scottish bagpipe if you don't watch it. Here we go. This is the U.S. rises to #1 energy producer, and then we'll move on to we'll get a dispatch from the patch 5 as well later on today, probably from the balcony view, the old Buchanan Street balcony. And by the way, in the background you can sort of hear the gentle murmur of Boom U. Now it's pretty serene right now, but I would suspect at different points during the day or at different times during the year, it will hustle and bustle better. And then over time, the general swell should increase as the boom becomes more evident. But this is a great place to open up a full reading of the article, because if indeed the U.S. is rising to the #1 energy producer, then this little Boom U you see right along here is going to be probably a ground zero of probably 10 different college towns for what we would call energy influence, which is, I guess, influence that energy brings with everything it has. I guess that's money and politics and everything else. But this is a great little spot for it. So we're going to go ahead and sort of wonder what magic may crop up here over the next 1, 3, 5, 10, 100, 1,000 years at Boom U. And we're going to try and read this article before we get caught in the bells of Boom U. So hang on, here we go. The U.S. rises to #1 energy producer. The U.S. is overtaking Russia as the world's largest producer of oil and natural gas. A startling shift that is reshaping markets and eroding the clout of traditional energy-rich nations. U.S. energy output has been surging in recent years, a comeback fueled by shale rock formations of oil and natural gas that was unimaginable a decade ago. A Wall Street Journal analysis of global data shows that the U.S. is on track to pass Russia as the world's largest producer of oil and gas combined this year, if it hasn't already. This is the U.S. ascendance. Should be ascendancy, probably. Maybe not. The U.S. ascendance comes as Russia has struggled to maintain its energy output and has yet to embrace technologies such as hydraulic fracturing that have boosted American reserves. This is a quote. "This is a remarkable turn of events," said Adam Szymanski, head of the U.S. Energy Information Administration. "This is a new era of thinking about market conditions and opportunities created by those conditions that you wouldn't in a million years have dreamed about." So that's pretty interesting. Hey, what's happening? Hey, if you don't mind, I'm doing something right here. I apologize, but I'm doing a little recording. Sorry about that. This is a remarkable turn of events, according to this activity. Head of the U.S. Energy Administration. This is a new era of thinking about market conditions and opportunities created by these conditions that you wouldn't in a million years have dreamed about. So this is pretty interesting, amazing stuff. We're also actually probably going to redo this. I don't know if I want to start. I don't want to start all over. That's just the way it goes at Boom U. Okay, here we go. The U.S., think about this. The U.S. produced the equivalent of about 22 million barrels a day of oil, natural gas, and related fuels in July, according to figures from the EIA and the Internal Energy Agency. Neither agency has data for Russia's gas output this year, but Moscow's forecast for 2013 oil and gas production works out to about 21.8 million barrels a day. Well, you may want to write that down. Okay, then we have here U.S. imports of natural gas and crude oil have fallen 32% and 15% respectively in the past 5 years, narrowing the U.S. trade deficit. So let me repeat that. It's a pretty important little statistic. U.S. imports of natural gas and crude oil have fallen 32 and 15% respectively, meaning, of course, that the natural gas fell 32% and the crude oil fell 15% in the past 5 years, narrowing the U.S. trade deficit. I'm getting ready to have to turn the page here, so bear with me. Let's see. And since the U.S. is such a big consumer of energy, the shift to producing more of its... Hang on, we got to find it here. Oh, look at that. Okay. U.S. rises to #1 energy producer. We just turned to page A8, and we'll get to refocus on Boom U, try and control this paper, and hope that we don't get interrupted again. But that's Boom U, and we're live. Here we go. A shift into its own oil and gas has left substantial fuel supplies available for other buyers. Wow. Okay. Market conditions. Nations that rely on peddling, oh, that's a great term. Nations that rely on peddling petroleum for their economic strength and political clout face dwindling market power as a result. Wow. Oil prices so far remain high, however, closing Wednesday at $104.10 a barrel, up 18% from a year ago. Wow. Interesting. Oil prices are up from a year ago, and the U.S. is consuming less oil, so the rest of the world's probably consuming more. And of course, we all sort of figure that maybe China's consuming a big chunk of that. But we will see. We'll continue this lovely article here in the face of real life at Boom U. Here we go. Many analyses of energy markets look only at crude oil. But Russia and the U.S. also are major players in natural gas markets, where they far outproduce countries such as Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil producer. Oh, okay. Here we go. That's why. The U.S. produces a lot of crude and a lot of natural gas. Let's see. The U.S. last year tapped more natural gas than Russia for the first time since 1982. Okay, this is according to data from the International Energy Agency. Russia's exports have been crimped by rising competition and the economic slump in Europe. Russia forecasts that its gas production will increase slightly in coming years, but its forecast for this year is below current U.S. production. And by the way, since we're talking about Russia, it's a good time to introduce old Vladimir Putin, who rumor has it can kill you with his pinky and can still beat Garry Kasparov in chess, which is amazing. We'd love to have him on the show. But also, it's another good time to let you know we're employing a different style here. It's the narrative approach. I'm no longer in front of the camera. I'm behind it, simply reading the facts as they unfurl, and then I send it out into the other sphere via Boom U and the Wall Street Journal and a few other little providers of information. Okay, let's see here. You probably get the point. We're close to 10 minutes into it, and this thing has already fallen completely off track. But we're going to complete this article. Oh, the bells of Boom U. Hang on. Do not ask for whom they toll, my friends. It's the bells of Boom U. They toll for thee, and they're going to toll for quite a while. We got 11 of them in, I think. At least 11. And then we'll probably get serenaded by something, and I guess it'll be... Now you never can tell. You know, really what Bourne should do is change it up and put rock and roll songs up there. And the first one I would recommend would be Thin Lizzy's Cowboy Song. Hey, there's your rock and roll song of the day as... given to Marcus Graves, if he's out there anywhere. It is 9 minutes past the hour here at K-Rig. All right, let's finish this article. Oh, God, the bells of Boom U are just punishing, but you must respect them. Okay, check this out. Okay, we're going to barrel through this beast. I'm tired of messing around here. I got to eat. I'm hungry. The U.S. last year tapped more natural gas than Russia for the first time since 1982. Okay, according to data from the International Energy Agency, Russia's exports have been crimped by rising competition in the economic... Okay, you heard me say this, but go to hell. We're going to the next paragraph. The U.S. is also catching up in the race to pump crude. Russia produced an average of 10.8 million barrels of oil and related fuel a day in the first half of this year. That was about 900,000 barrels a day more than the U.S., but down from a gap of 3 million barrels a day a few years ago. Oh man, you guys see what's happening here. Okay, the amount of crude from two of the hottest plays in the U.S., the Bakken, Harold Hamm, Continental Resources, 20 minutes north of Boomeu. Oh, and by the way, I'll need to confirm this, but I think perhaps the president of Boomeu, David Bourne, sits on the board of directors of Continental. I'll confirm that, and we'll clear that up in dispatch from the Patch 5. We'll confirm it or we'll clear it up, one or the other, but I'm betting we'll confirm it. Anyway, the amount of crude from two of the hottest plays in the U.S., the Bakken oil field in North Dakota and the Eagle Ford Shale Formation in South Texas, continues to rise rapidly, while Russian output has increased modestly over the past 3 years. The Russian government predicts oil output will remain flat through 2016, while natural gas ticks up 3%. The shift has raised concerns in Moscow that U.S. crude supplies will crowd out Russia's oil exports. Yeah, I would suspect it probably has. Here's a quote. Russia looks like the main loser in the global market, said Tatiana Metrova of the Russian Academy of Sciences Energy Research Institute. Wow, that's huge. I may want to repeat his quote because this guy's saying it, not me. Russia looks like the main loser in the global market. Wow. Well, we'll try and keep track of that. You can follow that through Gazprom and Rosneft, by the way, folks. More than 40% of Russia's budget comes from oil and gas-related duties and taxes. Wow, big stuff. The institute, that would be the Russian Academy of Sciences Energy Research Institute, not the institute that I belong to. That's the Institute of Primate Studies, and Professor Owen Corey heads up that board of directors. Let's see here. This institute has forecast that Russian oil exports could fall 25 to 30% after 2015, reducing gross domestic product more than $100 billion. Yeah, wow, crazy stuff. You know what I think we'll probably do? I think we'll probably shut this thing down and pick up a second video because I want to make sure that you can even hear what I'm saying. So we're going to cut this down. So this is dispatch from the Patch 4, I think, and we'll do dispatch from the Patch 5 next. So 3, 2, 1, boom.